This is One on One. Steve Adubato here at the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey. We're doing a series of interviews, conversations with people who care deeply about veterans, advocates, experts, people from the government and the foundation community. We're pleased to be joined by Major General Mark Graham, who's joined us before, served in the United States Army for 34 and a half years.
Correct.
And Senior Director, Rutgers National Call Center, Director of Vets4Warriors. Vets4Warriors is?
Vets4Warriors, it's vets, the number 4, the word warriors. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week peer support line, staffed by veterans. We answer the phones live. And our philosophy is let's help those currently serving, veterans or their family members or caregivers, before they reach the point of crisis. So whatever they're going through, talk to us. You can trust us. We've got shared lived experiences. We are who we serve. And you don't have to call us during business hours because our business hours never stop. You call us when it's convenient for you or when you're struggling or need help. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, if you couldn't sleep all night and you're struggling, call us. Let's talk. Let's work through things. And then we follow up and call you back and set up a tone and a conversation. And we'll talk to you as long as you want for 7, 8, 9 months, however long you think you need to do that, because our goal is for you to thrive and do better at what you're doing now and continue to improve.
By the way, as we have this conversation with the General, the telephone number is up. Is it the telephone number and the website, or what's best?
Telephone number and website, because if you go on the website, you can do a live chat.
Oh, you can?
As well.
Talk about that.
You can do live chats. And a lot of people, we're a national program. We're based in New Jersey, but we're a national program. So a lot of times, folks don't want to talk on the phone. They'd rather type on a computer or a smartphone, and they like to chat. So you can go to our website and do a live chat with us. And
Who's on the other end?
A veteran. We answer the phone within 30 seconds. Right now, our average answer is about 13.5 seconds. So there's
someone calls, and within 13.5 seconds on average, a veteran picks up.
Right. And there's no voicemail, there's no phone caller menu. It's a veteran, which is the first shock to them when they call.
Why is that so important?
Because it's a trust. One is a trust when they know someone's on the line live, and when they find out they're a veteran, it makes it even better. You can almost feel their anxiety reduced on the other end of the phone when they know you're a veteran. And we have Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps veterans, male, female, and we have veterans from every era, from Vietnam all the way to Iraq and Afghanistan.
General, people call in. You were with us on public broadcasting in the past when the organization was being created here. What I'm curious about is, what kinds of issues do people call with?
The number one reason they call is isolation.
Isolation.
They feel alone. The number 2 is anxiety, depression, marital issues, marital challenges.
We've heard this marital issue come up a lot. There's no one reason, but what are some of the reasons?
We're relationships. Sometimes it's financial that causes a relationship issue. What we find is no one really calls about one single thing. They might call initially about one thing, but as we start talking to them, they realize one is we're confidential. So they can open up and talk to us. We're not going to tell the military, we're not going to tell their employer that they called. They won't know that. You can call them. We don't even care if you give us your name, actually.
Name, so by the way, you call
you can be anonymous.
Right now, the name is not relevant.
No, it can be anonymous because our goal is to work with you to help you get better, to help you improve in whatever aspect of life you need to. Before you reach that point of crisis, let's help you early on.
How are the folks trained who are on that phone?
We give them 40 hours of formal training when they first show up. First off, they apply for jobs, we interview, and we select. And then they get 40 hours of formal instruction. And then once they get the 40 hours of training, we do what we call left seat, right seat ride in the military. It's kind of like a shadow program. So I sit with another peer who's experienced, and I learn from them. I listen to them. I listen to their end of the phone calls. And then over time, that experienced peer will sit next to the new peer, and the new peer will take calls, and they'll kind of work with them while they're on the call. We also have a licensed clinician that's in the call center 24 hours a day. They work with our peers to help them learn about issues so that our peers know, you're a peer, you're not a clinician. So they know kind of where their limits are and, when I need that's above my educational level and experience level.
I'm curious about something. Your commitment to this cause, to these veterans, is personal as well.
Yeah, it is.
Talk about it.
My wife and I and our daughter, we lost 2 sons. We lost a son, Kevin, to suicide when he was 21 years old. He was a senior Army ROTC cadet in college at the University of Kentucky, studying to be an Army doctor. And Kevin was struggling with depression. And in 2003, we were living in Korea in the Army and didn't know much about depression. You know, we knew you could be sad, but we didn't know you could die from being too sad because everyone gets sad. We didn't understand enough about it. 7 months later, Kevin's older brother, Jeff, was a second lieutenant in the Army and was killed in Iraq by an IED that was exploded by cell phone when he was on a foot patrol in Chaldea outside Fallujah. But before Jeff deployed, he called my wife and I and talked to us. And he'd had a soldier come to his door and said, "Hey, are you the lieutenant whose brother killed himself?" And my son said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "I need to talk to you because I'm having those thoughts." So we don't know the exact conversation, but we do know that our son called us back later and said, "You know, Mom and Dad, you have to promise me that you'll keep doing what you're doing. There are a lot of Kevins out there. I'll do this until I can't do it any longer." And this program opportunity came up, and so this is a way to, you know, to give back and to do it on the ground by making sure we connect people to resources, but we follow up. It's peer support.
You're giving back in so many ways. Thank you so much, General.
Well, thanks.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, TD Bank, Montclair State University, PSE&G, JAG Physical Therapy, RWJ Barnabas Health, and by Verizon. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.